Good morning, or depending when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told out of Voice of Radio, and today, quite frankly, ladies and gentlemen, I am feeling a little bit impatient. You see, today is the Wednesday before Sword and Shield 7 officially releases in Japan, and this is supposed to be the day where we get to see all the secret rares, where they get listed on Japanese auction sites, and we get to go and have a little bit of a gander. Well, yeah, they're taking their sweet time, quite frankly. It's looking like it's going to be a while, if not tomorrow, before we see all of these, so I thought it might be nice to just have a little bit of a look at the ones we've seen, because okay, we don't have the complete list at the moment, but I have got some phenomenal alternate art cards I can show you, as well as some other cool things as well. And I want to start off with the alternate arts, and I want to show you the one, of course, that everybody is very excited about. It's Rayquaza. And we knew Rayquaza V was going to get an alternate art, right? Because Rayquaza is one of the poster children for the set. It is Rayquaza and Duraludon. They are the ones that are all over the booster packs, etc. They were never not going to give an alternate art. And we can see here that you've got Rayquaza doing the kind of cool guy don't look at explosions pose. But then you've got Zinnia and a Whismur for some reason. Generally speaking, these alternate art cards tend to feature Pokémon that are in the set, generally speaking. Well, there ain't no Whismur in this set, ladies and gentlemen, but for some reason there is one on this artwork. We can be very upset about that, or I think we can probably just accept it and be kind of happy. So yeah, this Rayquaza is, frankly, kind of redonkulous. It is. This is going to be one of those artworks that people are all over. People are definitely going to want to get their hands on this one. This is going to be extremely popular because it's Rayquaza, because of the alternate art, because there's got to be some Zinnia fans out there somewhere, etc. It is a little bit silly good. Now, for what it's worth, Rayquaza V, I'm not actually a huge fan of this card as a whole. 1 energy, 40 damage, discard the top 2 cards of your deck. Or 2 energy, and you can discard up to either 2 fire or 2 lightning energy, and do 80 more for each one discarded. So essentially discard 2 and it does 180. It's fine, but I don't think it's particularly stunning and amazing. The VMAX is great, but that's what we've got in terms of Rayquaza V. Speaking of which, we've also got a sneak peek at Rayquaza V Max, the Rainbow Rare. Now, you will notice that this is the exact same artwork as the regular V Max, but rainbow-fied. That is generally what we would expect, incidentally, from these V Maxes. We are assuming there is an alternate art. It would be extremely surprising if there was not an alternate art here, but unfortunately that's not something that's been shown off at the moment. And people, generally speaking, don't want the rainbow rares of the V Maxes, not to the same degree they want the alternate art, but it's still a rainbow rare Rayquaza, so let's still give it the due it deserves. Of course, the VMAX is a really, really good card. It's got an ability that says once during your turn, you can discard your hand and draw 3 cards. It's great for draw. And sure, there are other things we can use instead, but if you want to play Rayquaza anyway, this is great for draw. And the attack is kind of like the V, but without a limit. So for 2 energy, you do 20 damage, but you can discard any number of fire or lightning, doing 80 more for each one discarded. Obviously, the theory here is that we are using Flaffy to just get a whole bunch of energy out. And then, this is a rare example. Most VMAXs 2-hit KO each other. Rayquaza VMAX gets a 1-hit KO on anything. So with all of that borne in mind, Rayquaza's kind of cool. What do we have in terms of Duraludon? Well, nothing for the VMAX, but we do have a look at the alternate art V, and oh my goodness, this one's amazing. Not entirely sure how Duraludon's going to be eating, but I don't know, using his weird arm things to get the food up near his face, so I'm sure he's going to be fine. The thing is, you got Ryan there, kind of leaning on Duraludon, and Duraludon looks adorable, and it's drawn by Saito. I know that Duraludon is not on the same level as Rayquaza in terms of popularity, but time you put Ryan into this artwork, and you've got the Saito art, and Saito is a very popular artist. You've even got Rotom Phone there if that's what you're into, but oh my goodness, this is a pretty awesome card. And I, for one, am personally very excited about Duraludon. Now, it really is the VMAX, not the V. What we've got here is 2 energy 70 or 3 energy 140. And then during your opponent's next turn, their active deals 30 less damage. Incidentally, if you switch your active, you still take less damage. Your opponent needs to switch to get rid of this. And this is cool, but I'm really holding out for the VMAX. I think the VMAX is great. I think the V is a conduit to the VMAX. Incidentally, and I did say this at the time, and I stand by this opinion wholeheartedly, I do believe that the Duraludon from Champion's Path is by far the better of them. I've done a video about this, I'll pop a link in the description. So I love the artwork here, but I'm not actually going to play it because the metal one is better. Although the metal one should rotate out earlier because it has a regulation mark D, not E, so there will be a point where you're kind of forced into this one, but Duraludon won't be as good. Nothing on the VMAX yet, unfortunately. I am sorry. But we do have a couple of other alternate arts we can take a little bit of a look at, including Dragonite. Now look, I say regularly, looking at these alternate arts, that this one is the best. And I don't know if this one is the best at this stage. There are far too many that could be called the best. What I can tell you is, oh my goodness, this is an amazing piece of artwork that I really want to own. I seem destined to never pull one of these free boxes of EV Heroes, no alternate, boo hiss, etc. But goodness gracious me, you've got Dragonite chilling in the air, you've got various bird Pokemon flying under. I think the lovely Primal Lugia, who I should say has helped to hook us up with these images and is one of my favourite people in the Pokemon community, Primal Lugia is awesome, basically said that what we're seeing now really is the pinnacle of Pokemon TCG art. And I'm going to be honest, it might not have been Primal Lugia, it might have been somebody else, I can't quite remember. The point is, whoever said that is right, because oh my goodness, I adore this piece of artwork. Now, as for Dragonite V, you've got 2 energy, 50 damage, not affected by any effects on your opponent's active, useful for going through anything that would block you, not a stunning attack. Or 2 water, 1 lightning, 250, and 20 to each of your bench. But then again, you've got all kinds of outrage Pokemon that can be used to take advantage of the self-damage. I mean, I don't know if you could actually play a Dragonite Phanpy deck, but I would like to investigate whether you could. This one kind of seems like fun. Don't forget you got Frostmoth to accelerate energy onto it, so that energy cost is maybe not quite as awkward as you might think. Although to play with Phanpy, we need water and lightning and fighting, so I might have to rethink that one. And then the other alternate art which has been gone and shown off is Medicham V. And I love this one, because what you've got is you've got your Medicham V here, but then if you look at the background art, you've got Jumpluff, and Plusle and Minun, Centiskorch, Cloyster. And what do all of those Pokemon have in common? What they all have in common is that they are all in this set as Rapid Strike Pokemon. This is why the Whismur was so awkward or odd on the other card. So what we've essentially got here is just essentially the headline or one of the headline Rapid Strike Pokemon with an alternate art showing off a load of the other Rapid Strike Pokemon. I absolutely love that. I think that is such a cool touch. And yeah, I think this one's amazing personally. I love the artwork. As for the card itself, free energy, 100, not affected by resistance. I don't think we need to spend much time talking about that attack. It is frankly not good. But for 2 colourless energy, you put 2 damage counters on one of your opponent's Pokemon, and if that gets a KO, you take another turn. Incidentally, the attack might be called Yoga Loop, but let's be clear, there is a little rule there whereby if you did it last turn, you can't do it again this turn. You can essentially take 2 out of every 3 turns. Take a turn, take another turn, your opponent, take a turn, take another turn, your opponent. But sooner or later, someone's going to break this card. I'm absolutely sure of it. It just hasn't happened yet. Now, Suicune is one we are all very patiently waiting for the alternate art, and I'm afraid we're going to have to wait a little longer. We can see the full art, and it is beautiful, but it really is the alternate art we're waiting for. Incidentally, I think this Suicune is absolutely brilliant. It's got an ability whereby if it's in the active, you get to draw a card, and I know it's only one card, but it is a basic Pokemon that draws cards no matter how many are in your hand. That is not something we see very often at all. And then for 2 energy, you do 20 damage to the active, but then you do an extra 20 damage for each bench Pokemon in play, yours and your opponent's. So if you both have full benches, that's 220, that's awesome. And sure, your opponent can play around it a bit, but you know what? If they're not benching Pokemon they want to bench to try and hurt me, I'm cool with it. This one looks like an awful lot of fun, and I love that you've got the draw there as well. We're all waiting for the alternate art here, but for the time being, this is something cool we can have a little bit of a look at. Now, those are the Pokemon that have gone and been revealed, but we've got some supporter cards we can take a look at as well. Now, we know that Shauna is getting a reprint in this particular set. Well, Shauna's getting a full art in this particular set. For what it's worth, not the first full art we've seen for Shauna. We did have one previously. It was a promo over here. So I'm going to leave it up to you as to which one you actually prefer. All I can tell you is Shauna is a very popular character. The full arts of the female characters have become extremely popular lately. Prices are rising. So I think it's fair to say that this is going to be a fairly popular sought-after card. In terms of the playability, it's Shauna. We've had it before. Shuffle your hand into your deck, draw 5 cards. It's a shuffle-draw supporter. Not every deck is going to want to play it, but enough of them are to make it a very good card. And speaking of full art versions of reprinted supporters we've had a couple times before, man, I could have made that sound less awkward. How about COPYCAT? COPYCAT's getting a reprint and COPYCAT's getting a full art. Now, some of you are going to look at this and think, hang on a second, I've already seen that, because there are strong similarities between the full art and the regular art, in that you've got essentially kids cosplaying as the same 4 characters. Okay, fine. I do love that it is actually the same artist that has done the full art and the regular art. That is very cool. I don't know how this is really going to affect it in terms of it being very similar to the regular art, but tell me that is not an amazing card. For what it's worth, COPYCAT, for those that may have forgotten, lets you shuffle your hand into your deck and draw cards equal to your opponent's number of cards in their hand. So this, again, it is going to be one that everybody just plays a huge amount of. This one is very, very cool. And as I am recording, we have actually gotten a not particularly clear look at Schoolboy and Schoolgirl. Now, these are brand new cards that have never been released before. These are absolutely new ones, and essentially, I don't think they're particularly good. They each draw you 2 cards, and then Schoolboy will get you an extra 2 cards if your opponent has 1, 3, or 5 prizes left, and Schoolgirl will draw you an extra 2 if they've got 2, 4, or 6 prize cards remaining. I don't think they're particularly good cards, but we have got the full arts we can take a little bit of a look at here. I would probably suggest, remember, the secret rares as they're defined over in Japan, which is what we're looking at in this video, you are guaranteed 1 per box. Might I suggest if this is the one you get in your box, you might not be that happy. Now, we have actually had a look at both full art and rainbow rare of the new Zinnia card. Who doesn't want a new Zinnia card? Everyone loves Zinnia, right? Of course, we've already seen that Zinnia does appear on the Rayquaza art. Well, now Zinnia's Resolution has its own card. And of course, as one would expect, we've got the same artwork there, just rainbow and non. And essentially what you do is you discard 2 cards from your hand, other than Zinnia's Resolution, and you draw a card for each of your opponent's Pokemon in play. I don't think this is going to be some amazing supporter card that sees a huge amount of play in every single deck, but I absolutely do think that it is going to see a fair bunch of play in a fair bunch of decks. It is going to be a good option for a bunch of decks, so people are going to love it. And along similar kind of lines, let's talk about another Dragon Trainer. We've got Ryan, who is coming in as both a full art and a rainbow rare, and we have images of both of them. How lovely. And Ryan, like I've said, it is a very popular character. People are going to want this. Now, you can only play it if one of your Pokemon was knocked out during your opponent's last turn, but you get to attach a basic energy from your discard pile to one of your Pokemon, and if you do, search your deck for any card. It's a weird one because it's not quite good enough in either way. Searching one card is not quite good enough, attaching one energy is not quite good enough. However, if you take both of them and put them together, it's not actually all that bad, ladies and gentlemen, and I think we can get on board with it. Not going to be a staple, but certainly something a bunch of decks are going to want to use. And then the last card that has gone and been revealed is a gold version of Crystal Cave. We always get a couple of gold cards coming along. This is one that has gone and been shown. And this is a new stadium card that says once during each player's turn, they can heal 30 from each of their metal and dragon Pokemon. So Duraludon's going to love it. I quite like this. I think there are going to be some dragon decks that absolutely do take advantage of it. This is kind of a cool card. Like I've said, ladies and gentlemen, there are plenty more to be revealed. They are revealing much, much more slowly. By now, I've usually got the full list, and I'm just waiting for a couple of cards in better quality. As it stands at the moment, they are coming out very slowly this time, so I thought I'd show you what we had so you were nice and up to date. I've shown you some beautiful alternate art cards, but there are going to be plenty more, and there'll be a follow-up video probably tomorrow showing you every single one. Because I care, quite frankly. Because I care. And speaking of caring, I do need to interrupt myself, sorry Past Wassy, just for a moment here. Now, it's not particularly clear, let's be clear. We do actually have a sneaky look at the alternate art Rayquaza V Max. Now, the image on the screen very, very clearly does not do it any kind of justice whatsoever. It is an absolutely terrible image. But it's the only one we've got for the moment, and I did want to show you before we ended the video. Of course, now that I've made the video, all the rest of the cards we've been waiting for hours and are all usually shown by now will probably come thick and fast and make me look dumb for making the video, but I left it as long as I could before it was getting a bit silly. I stand by my decision. But for now, ladies and gentlemen, I want to know what you think of all of this, and I want to know what your favourites are, so let me know in the comment section. Go nuts! Be nice! And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWassy, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCG Radio. If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all that good stuff, head on over to patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can do exactly that. But by far the most important thing as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.